So again, greeting to all of you who are at home. The ambassador of Yahushua, Elia, is entering in our house now. So first of all, let's take a break from technician, and we're going to continue after. So it's the number 4. That is the teaching for today, and I hope that you I believe that you are already following the teaching at the moment. For that title, it must be Israelite prophet that must be listened and followed, said the God of Abraham. The others, apart from them, then, are fake, because the law is so clear. So here, if we have seen the teaching number 1, the 2, and the 3, everybody has done bad things. They have created fake God. They have mentioned the fake God, and the result of that is they all become sinners. However, they they say that their God is the God of Abraham. However, we have seen that if it's the God of Abraham who are with you, you never sin, and that is the truth. Because everyone who follows the God of Abraham, they never sin. And we have proved that, when we have proved that, according to the Holy Scripture, that those who follow the God of Abraham, no one sin anymore. But it's only those who follow fake God who sin. So it's obvious then that the God that you have followed from the beginning, they are all fake, because they have made you sins. And that's why you become someone who commit adultery, murder, scammer. You are cussing and saying something abomination. You're always running after women and men, and you become stealer, drunkard. That is the result of following your fake God. They are not the God of Abraham, because the God of Abraham, the result is you never sin. But the result, you don't follow the God of Abraham. You are sinners, and you cannot get away from that, because that is already something that you are living. So how can you escape from that? And we have seen as well that those who mention the God apart from Yahushua, they're all fake, because the God of Abraham, it has been mentioned and called in minus 2,000 years. So it's not your book or the Bible in your hand, which changes the name that you're going to say that you are the truth, because the proof that has been seen is you were all sinners. And those who are sinners, they haven't known and they haven't seen that God, because the God of Abraham never listened to sinners. That's why he fight against Israel and gets separated away from them. That is the first one. So even if you created a book and call God of Abraham for yours, that is a no-no, and you become a sinner as well, because it has been said by Abraham and Moshe in minus 2,000 years that the name of the God of Abraham, it was in minus 2,000 years, or minus 1,500 years. It was Yahushua. That is his name, Yahushua. And if you have changed that, that is a proof that you are sinners, and it's not a book that you have written in plus 600 years or something like that, that you're going to say that it is the truth. But that is a proof. Look back at the truth, because it's about salvation. Look at the war which is already occurring between Ukraine and Russia. It becomes worse. It's a risk of a nuclear bomb, a proof that the end is already upon us, and the problem cannot be solved anymore, because it's already poured for all around the world, and nothing can be done. Yeah, it is just something like waiting for it's starting. It's finishing, and there is nothing to do anymore, but we are waiting for the finishing of this story. Yeah, that is the truth. But we're going to see the continuation of the word despite of these things. So what will be the continuation? So this is the continuation. So as long as this name is fake, your book as well is fake, because it is proved that the name are false. It is proved also that all of your book are fake. And when it is fake, there is nothing to wish for anymore from it, because everybody went to a fake address. You are not worshiping the God of Abraham, but something else. So let's see how about who is the prophet that must be obeyed and followed at the moment, at this end day. So let's take a look at the law. But the 10 commandments on the law of Moshe have taught you that it is only made for the children of Israel. So if it's a law from the words of Moshe, so it is made for children of Israel. It is not made for the other nation, but only for children of Israel. So let's read the words, because we're going to read the decrees and the commands, because the 10 commandments and the law of Moshe, when there is a words coming from Moshe, it is for children of Israel. So let's take a look at the words. Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 15, about the prophet, because we are talking about the prophet. What kind of prophet must be obeyed and listened? Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 15, from the verse 15 to the verse 19, 18 and 19. Yahweh your God will rise up for you a prophet like me from among you, from your fellow Israelites. You must listen to him. So here the words of God, it is said that what kind of prophet must be listened, and where that prophet comes from. It's a prophet from among you. It's an Israelite then, from you, like you. So it's a fellow Israelites. So it's about Israeli fellow, because they have been given the law. As I said, the 10 commandments and the law of Moshe is for Israeli people. So these are the commands of Father Yahweh, which is being given to them, and it is made for Israelites. So, verse 15. For this, what I asked, so here, I will rise up for them a prophet like you from among their fellow Israelites, and I will put my words in his mouth. He will tell them everything I command him. I myself will call account anyone who does not listen to my words that the prophet speaks in my name. So it's dangerous to be judged by the God of Abraham when you are alive. Don't get into that, because if you don't listen to that prophet, you're going to be judged. That is dangerous to death. So I will rise up for them a prophet like you from among their fellow Israelites. So because some say that it's someone else who is that fellow Israelite. So the God of Abraham gave a command that the law that God gave is made for only Israeli people. It is not given to other nations. So for that, the fellow which is being talked here is only for Israeli. It's the brother of Moshe then. So it's like brotherhood. It's their brothers. It's among their brothers. So it's from Israelites. So the prophet then, they must be Israeli or Israelites. So let's read the law in the book of Psalm. There was an echo. Do you work seriously? Psalm 147, verse 19 and 20. He has revealed his word to Jacob, his laws and decrees to Israel. It's obvious. So the ones who are given the Ten Commandments and the law of Moshe, it is only for Jacob and Israel. Jacob is no one but Israel. So these words are then made for Israel. So if the Deuteronomy said, it's a prophet among your fellow Israelites, so it's from Israelite. It is made for Israel, not for the other nations. And it is justified in verse 20. He has done this for no other nation. So no other nation can enter into that. No other nation can enter into the Ten Commandments and the law of Moshe. So the other nation are then rejected. You cannot be prophet. You cannot make a volunteer that you were a prophet of the God of Abraham, because the God of Abraham has given a law that these Ten Commandments and the law of Moshe is not given to you, other nation, and it's not you who's going to get involved into the prophet Israelian. But the prophet Israelian, they are with the God of Abraham, and they are given law according to the law of God of Abraham, saying it is not given to you other nations. So you other nation then cannot get into that. For you who are listening that, you cannot enter in that. And this is it. They do not know his laws. So you don't know the laws of Father Yahushua about the Israelian. That means that you cannot get into it, because it's something that you don't know. If you get into it, you have broken the law, you have broken the laws of Father Yahushua, you have broken the law of the God of Abraham. So if there is a prophet saying that I am a prophet in the class of the prophet of God of Abraham, whoever is not Israelite, that is then fake. They are fake then, because that is completely wrongness. So if we're going to take a look at the book of the law in Exodus chapter 19. Exodus chapter 19, verse 3. It's a proof to say that listening to these Ten Commandments and the law of Moshe, it is made for Israelian, which is preached by Moshe or Moise or Musa for Muslims. So let's read it. Then Moses went up to God. Exodus chapter 19, verse 3 to 5. And Yahweh called to him from the mountain and said, this is what you are to say to the descendants of Jacob, those who keep my covenant. It is emphasized that it is not, it's forbidden for other nations into that. Especially about the prophet. You cannot enter as a prophet of God of Abraham if you are not Israelian. So the law of the God of Abraham through Moshe, who has met with him and get along with him, and the God of Abraham, the God of Moshe, said the other nation cannot enter into it. So American cannot be a prophet, or nor a French or English, nor African, nor Arabs, or nor Chinese, nor Australian, whoever. But only Israelian can be prophet according to the law that God of Abraham has said. So it's at that point, really. It's clear then that if it's not an Israelite prophet, it's not okay. So you should think ahead. What is your prophet? Think ahead. Each one of you think ahead and think for yours. So it's clear about the law that if it's not an Israelian, it's forbidden. And you cannot go against that, because it's the God of Abraham himself who gave that command. So it's obvious that if you are not following the God of if you are not following the prophet Israel, you were wrong, you were breaking the law, and you are going to be stricken by the anger of Father Yahushua, because you were in the wrong address, you were deceived. It's straightforward. We have seen that together. We have seen that together. You can see that because it's in the Sefer Torah that we have read. It's Exodus. It's in the Sefer Torah. It's Shemot. That is the meaning of Exodus. So it's obvious then. It's an Israeli prophet. It's Israelite prophet. So who is the last prophet in Israel? Who is the last prophet in Israel? The last prophet in Israel is no one but Yahushua. He is the real last prophet. Yahushua is his name. And it is proved, that word is proved, according to the book in Israel. The book in Israel proved that Yahushua is a prophet. He was the one who was changed by them, by people, by Jesus, it's Greek. That is for Jesus and Jesus, who call Jesus and Jesus. For Muslims, they call it Isa, but it's not Isa. His name is not Isa, but Yahushua. But that is a wrong translation, and all humans have changed that. But the last prophet, his name is called Yahushua. And those who follow that last prophet, they never sin. Because that last prophet, who has been given the God of Abraham, the law. Let's take a look at that story in Israel, that he is a real prophet, and it's Israelian who determine or designate their prophet in them, not church leader, but it's the people, the crowds, who determine if he is a prophet or not. And if it's the crowds who say that he's a prophet, no one can go against that, because he's a messenger, he brought the word. And it's obvious the work of Yahushua. It's about demonstrating the power and the authority, and he is the last prophet, according to the book in Israel. And there are some who wrote that book, and we're going to see if they are a prophet, who don't say that he's a prophet. It's those who don't know the story of Israel and who don't say that he's a prophet. But it's those who follow the prophet, who are with Yahushua, because he got a disciple, and it's in the story of the disciple that we can see that Yahushua is a prophet. And you must listen to him. And people of Israel listen to him. They listened to the teaching of Yahushua, and thousands of people followed him on the street. But the church leaders, Jewish church leaders, were jealous, and they killed him. They killed him. So we're going to see in the Holy Scripture of Jews, because it's in the Jews, that we're going to take this the story. And in the book of Jews, there is a New Testament, and the New Testament tells about the story of Yahushua, and the New Testament, the one who brings that is Yahushua, and it's in that book that we can see the story of the last prophet, Yahushua. So we're going to see that story, that it is written in that book, that he is a prophet, according to the crowds, Israeli crowds, the people of Israel themselves, who say that he's a prophet, and lots of people followed him, because he healed, he raised the disabled people, and those who are mute have been healed, and lots of people were healed. And that story are written in the book of Jews, which is we can see the story of the prophet. So let's see if Yahushua is a real prophet according to the book of Jews. So let's take a look at that story. So we're going to follow that according to, we still must look for the chapter and verse. So we're going to take a look at the book, where is it again? Matthew chapter 21 verse 11. Matthew chapter 21 verse 11 and 46. So let's take a look at that for you who are following at home. Matthew chapter 21 verse 11. So these are the book of Jews, what we are talking here. Let's read from the verse 10, 11. When Yahushua entered Jerusalem, Matthew chapter 10 verse 11, chapter 21 verse 10 and 11. The whole city was stirred and asked, "Who is this?" The crowds answered, "This is Yahushua, the prophet from Nazareth in Galilee." So that's it. So it's clear here that Yahushua, this Yahushua, according to the crowds, that he is a prophet, and it's the crowd, Israeli crowds who were screaming. So it is proved here then that Yahushua is a prophet. That means that last prophet, last Israeli prophet that must be listened and must be followed and obeyed. Clearly, is Yahushua, because he's the last prophet. He's Yahushua. That is the Holy Scripture of Jews saying. The words is straightforward here that it's the crowd themselves who say together and scream that Yahushua, the prophet, is coming then from Nazareth of Galilee. That is it. So it's obvious then that Yahushua is a prophet, according to this word that has been said to you. So let's read the next one. Matthew chapter 21 verse 46. They looked for a way to arrest Yahushua, but they were afraid of the crowd because the people held that he was a prophet, because a prophet cannot be touched. Matthew chapter 21 verse 46. They looked for a way to arrest Yahushua, but they were afraid of the crowd because the people held that he was a prophet. So here, the truth is Yahushua is a prophet. Yahushua is a real prophet. It's the crowd themselves who say that he's a prophet. That means that it's the last Israeli prophet is Yahushua. Let's emphasize that. It's in the book, the next book. It's in the book of John, chapter 6, verse 14. John 6:14. John 6:14. So these are pointing the story of Yahushua. After the people saw the sign Yahushua performed, they began to say, surely this is the prophet who is to come into the world. That's it. So people saw him and they know that this is the prophet. After people have heard what Yahushua performed, then they all begin to, they will say together that Yahushua is a real prophet, came to this world. So they have proved in story of Jews, in the book of Jews. It's all about the book of Jews. And the book in Yahushua really said, the story in Yahushua really said that the crowds, Israeli crowds, say that Yahushua is a prophet. So English cannot go against that. Chinese can go against that. African cannot go against that. Arabs cannot go against that. Russian cannot go against that. Japanese cannot reject that and cannot go against that, because it's the story of Israel and they have said that and you cannot go against that. And it's the crowd themselves who say that Yahushua is a prophet and no one can go against that. Let's see another passage. It's still in the book of Jude. We're going to read in the Luke chapter 24 verse 19. Luke chapter 24 verse 19. Luke chapter where is that? What thing? Luke chapter 24 verse 19. What things? He asked. About Yahushua of Nazareth, they replied. He was a prophet, powerful in word and deed before God and all the people. So he is a prophet before all the people. So all the people accept and admit that he's a prophet. He's the people themselves who established that he's a prophet according to the power and the authority and what he has done. It's the people themselves who has established him as a prophet. So whoever go against that, it's you who go against something which is in the country of the others. It's the people themselves who say that he is a prophet and you cannot go against that. He is a great prophet. That is it. You must listen to a prophet from among you, and it is to Yahushua. And that Yahushua, those who follow him, never sin again. Never sin anymore. And it's Yahushua himself who gave a command. He gave a command, a law, according to John chapter 12, verse 49. That I bring the commands of Father. So if the people say that he's a prophet, then you cannot go against that. And the prophet bring the words of Father Yahweh, and he gives the words. Father Yahweh said, I'm going to put my words in the prophet, according to Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 15. I'm going to put my words in his mouth. So here, according to John 12, verse 49 and 50, the command was given to John chapter 12, verse 49 and 50. So here we're going to see that that son of a great prophet brought words, and the command that he has brought is here. John 12, 49, 50. For I did not speak on my own, but my Father who sent me commanded me to say all that I have spoken. I know that his command leads to eternal life. So whatever I say is just what the Father has told me to say. So here, the word is clear that Yahushua, Father God, gave command that he brought him according to determined that he's going to bring command that he's going to share to people. And the command in Yahushua is a command to wash people away from their sins, and those who follow him never sins. That is the God of Abraham saying that you must listen to a prophet, and the last prophet is the crowd themselves who said Yahushua is his name. So the Israeli crowd, Israeli people confirmed that at that time, and no one cannot go against that. You cannot deny that. Yahushua, Israeli prophet, is admitted by the people of Israel, like Jeremiah, Yahushua as well. The crowds, the people of Israel, accept and admit that Yahushua is a prophet because he brought the words of Father Yahweh according to the words of the prophet. We're going to see next time how can we say that he is a real prophet and he is a real prophet. But according to law of Moshe, I'm going to give you that also. But here, it is seen that it's the people of Israel who knows about the prophet, it's themselves who say clearly that Yahushua is a prophet. He is a prophet. And he brings the new covenant for this world, for all the nations, all the countries around the world. He is the new covenant. So that is for the Israeli, that is said, but for the other nation, maybe they don't know that. But that subject is for between Israeli. But I'm drawing your mind here that the prophet that must be listened, the last prophet is Israeli, and the last prophet is last Israeli prophet that God has given his law is Yahushua, and it's the people of Israel themselves that you cannot deny who established and say that he is a prophet. That means that you cannot go against that. No one can go against that because it's the people of Israel that I emphasize clearly that who said that he is a prophet. That is clear. So at the moment of speaking, then in our generation, because we have seen that Yahushua is the last prophet. So what Yahushua said then about the prophet? Because it must be from him that the commands must be listened. So it's from his mouth that the command must be listened. And it's in the book of Jude that we are going to see again. There is also a book of Jude said, called a Revelation. That is also book of Jude. It's in the Revelation book that the revelation of Yahushua there can be seen. It's that it's the someone who said about Yahushua, who is called prophet at the moment. So no one has preached in Yahushua, the one who washed people away from sin, and those who follow him never sins on this earth planet. There is no one but only the ambassador of Yahushua. Elia only is bringing the name now and teach about Yahushua. He doesn't teach, Elia doesn't teach anything else but only Yahushua, because the law of Yahushua, according to the law of the God of Abraham, for him, it's the God of Abraham who said, this is the law, Revelation chapter 19, verse 10. But it's the testimony of Yahushua, those who bear the testimony of Yahushua, that the spirit of prophecy goes to. That is a new law. Why? Because what is that new law for? Because that God of Abraham is going to Gentiles. So it's obvious that those who bears the testimony of Yahushua, who has the spirit of the Spirit, and is the one who is the one that you see on this teaching now, and that is to end this teaching. Also, it's the short for today's teaching. Yes, because that is the Revelation chapter 19 verse 10. Revelation chapter 19 verse 10. At this I fell at his feet to worship him, but he said to me, "Don't do that. I am a fellow servant with you and with your brothers and sisters who hold to the testimony of Yahushua. Only worship God, for it is the spirit of prophecy who bears testimony to Yahushua." So that means that those who preach Yahushua, then what the ambassador of Yahushua, Elia, does, is doing right now. That is the proof that the spirit of the prophecy is ongoing. Because it's in Yahushua, that is the spirit of prophecy, because he is the last prophet, and he gives the last command, and the last command that he gives, the last command that Yahushua gave is the one who bears his testimony. That because when you teach Yahushua, you teach Yahweh who has sent him, and it's the preaching of Yahushua and Father Yahweh, and it's in him that spirit of prophecy. That is the last law of the God of Abraham. So we're going to end our teaching for today, but we're going to see in another version next time. But that is enough for you to think of what kind of prophet that you must listen. And you must listen to an Israelite prophet, and you cannot go against that. So Elia, before, long ago, he's a prophet in the Ab, the king. Elia the prophet, that he was called. The same prophet, it's the same character that we are talking here. However, he is following the law of Yahushua now. At the moment of speaking, according to the words of Father Yahweh, brought by Yahushua the prophet, those who preach Yahushua, because when you preach Yahushua, you automatically preach Yahweh, the God of Abraham. It's in him the spirit of prophecy. It didn't go to anyone, but it's in the one who preached Yahushua. It's in him the spirit of prophecy. That means that those who follow Yahushua on this earth planet, they are the only one who were washed away from their sins. That is it. It's the precious thing that Father Yahweh gave through the last prophet. We're going to talk about the domain of the last prophet, Yahushua. Yeah, Elia is already clear for you, because what makes Elia a prophet is thanks to Yahushua. However, Yahushua said, never sin. Like Yahushua, like Father Yahweh said, I hate sinners. And the last prophet Yahushua said as well, never sin. And Prophet Elia also said, never sin. And those who follow Elia never sin. Because that is the power in Yahushua, beloved Yahushua. Glory be to both of them, Yahushua and beloved Father Yahweh. Because this one is a prophet who is a messenger. We're going to talk about him because he is a real prophet. We're going to emphasize that word, that this prophet is to be listened. His word must be listened. He said, never sin. John chapter 8, he said, never sin. John chapter 8, verse 11. That is the best thing that Father Yahweh really loved the most. That is the best thing. It's the book of Israel, and again, John chapter 8, verse 11. No answer, she said. Then neither do I condemn you, Yahushua declared. Go now and never sin. That is the declaration of Yahushua, the real Greek prophet and the prophet in Israel, that it is substituted by Elia. There is no one who can substitute him but Elia, because he preached the Yahushua, the true one, the last Israeli prophet, and we're going to talk about that. Is he a real prophet? We have said about that. And what is his quality? We're going to talk about all of that. But today is enough. We're going to see also the John chapter 5, verse 14. John chapter 5, verse 14. That he also said to this man, he said, never sin also. John 5:14. Later Yahushua found that what makes him a prophet of God. He hates sins, the God of Abraham. That is the Elohim of Israel. That is the God of Abraham, Elohim of Abraham. Later Yahushua found him at the temple and said to him, see, you are well again. Stop sinning. Never sin, or something worse may happen to you. So this is last Israeli prophet, then he has the same behavior, has the same personality of the one who sent him, Father Yahweh, the God of Abraham. He has the same personality of Yahweh because he emphasized never sin. And it is according to the words of Father Yahweh, Isaiah 59, 1, 2. They have, their words are saying, is the same. Listen to this. His hand is not short to save. Surely the arm of the Yahweh is not too short to save, not his ear too dull to hear. But your iniquity have separated you from your God. Your sin have hidden his face from you, so that he will not hear. So the God of Abraham, he hates sins. And the last prophet, when he came, he emphasized and insisted that never sin, and that God of Abraham hates that sinners. That's why he destroyed everyone from before. That's why I said to you, no one, no authority can fight against that goodness. The last prophet is now the words of the last prophet is now arrived to you, and it's the God of Abraham who sent that last prophet, and that's why he said, never sin. Those who follow me never sin. That is what the God of Abraham, Yahweh, said, what he meant. Because he hates sinners. The God of Abraham hates sinners. And the prophet that you are just to listen is an only Israelite prophet. You cannot take another prophet. When it is changed, everything that you have done are fake and false. And when you were following something fake, of course, you were wrong. You were wrong to the end. You were not with the God of Abraham. That means that you were completely in a wrong address. That's why I save you all who are listening to me now. Come to the God of Abraham. Let's come to the God of Abraham. His hand is tending to you. Because when he said, I never listened to sinners. He said, I never listened to sinners. And we're going to take a look at the words of the last Israeli prophet. For example, can men get married with lots of women? The last Israeli prophet said, that is forbidden. The God of Abraham hates that man who is cheating or also getting married with lots of women. That is said by the last Israeli prophet. And it's the crowds, it's the people who say that Yahushua is a prophet. But it's Jews who hate that prophet, and they killed him. All the church leaders, Jewish church leaders, hate the prophets, and they killed them. But Yahushua bless you all. But when you are convinced, come to Eliah. Because Eliah will really save you. Eliah will really save you. Eliah, all means to save you. I'm doing that. I'm saving you because destruction for you is coming to you. Look at the story of Russia and Ukraine. I mean, what happens to Ukraine? No one cannot fight against Russia. Eliah has taught that, and we're going to see the continuation of it. And you're going to see, if you want to get in trouble, fight against Russia. We're going to see the following of it. The continuation, that is the sign that I'm giving to you. No one cannot fight against Russia. Even though all people around the world will gather against Russia, no one cannot fight against Russia. But they are just pretending to be dead. But that is the words of the prophet Eliah. And that is emphasized. That is to say that the words of Father Yahweh, our Father Yahweh, never changed. And all people around the world follow his word. It's a foolishness for a Ukrainian to fight against Russia, but that is forbidden. We're going to talk about that if we got time in the future. But now, it's still the teaching. Let's come to the God of Abraham, Yahuwah, and follow the last prophet that he sent. Yahushua is his name. So what are the qualities or the good things in Yahushua? That is the thing that we're going to talk about in the next teaching. But he's really good. Even just hearing that people who follow him never sin. Isn't that something good in your point of view? From your point of view? What is the words of the God of Abraham? His word is, he hates sins. Look, he hates sinners. And that's why he destroyed the people of Israel. And that's why all people around, all humans create fake God, wrong book, and they create something else, different thing. So, unfortunately, that is bad. That is a sad thing. But Eliah is now arrived to bring people back to that Father Eva. And you may say, are you the only one? And I say to you, come and support. If you really wish to be washed away from your sin and you really like the God of Abraham, don't stop yourself, don't block yourself to go on the right thing. Help the way of truth, because happy are to be washed away from sins and you never sin. That is something that to be wished for. Don't you wish for that? Don't you wish? That is something to be wished for. Is that makes you happy to get back to the true God? Because all people, all these words are destroyed by devil. It's time to come back. Let's come back to the truth. It is proved. The God of Abraham is proved. Who is him? And it is proved. His personality is proved, and his behavior and quality is proved that he hates sinners. And all the prophets say that he hates sins. According to the law of Moshe, Moshe, who is with the God of Abraham, Yahuwah is his name. So it's your turn to come back to the God of Abraham, Yahuwah is his name. And once you were convinced, come to Eliah and get baptized. Because you must be baptized in order for it to be valid. Baptism so that you get along with the God of Abraham and with getting along with the prophet, last Israeli prophet, Yahushua is his name. We're going to talk all about that, but the words has been clear that the greatest foundation, the greatest base is getting along with the God of Abraham. You never sin. You were washed away from your sin with the last prophet, Israeli prophet, with the law that he brought. Never sin, because it's forbidden. And it's that last prophet who said that this God, Yahuwah, he himself, he is perfect. And those who will follow him must be perfect. And when people get into that last prophet, they become perfect. So let's read also that passage that does two people becomes perfect in him. That is really it. According to Matthew chapter 4, verse 48. It is also a book of Israel. Book of Jews. Matthew chapter 5, verse 48. Be perfect, therefore, as your heavenly Father is perfect. So it's a law that Yahushua, the last prophet, said as you must be perfect in order to be valid. And no one dared to say that except him. No other prophet dares to do that. And of course, those who follow him are perfect, like Eliah. Eliah is perfect. Eliah never does something evil. He never does something bad. And not only me, but the children of the Most High, the children of the God of Abraham. Those who follow the God of Abraham and those who follow Yahushua, the last prophet, they become someone who never sin. They never sin. Perfect human. That is real God. The God of Abraham. That is the one that you were looking for. That is the thing that you were looking for, to be perfect, to be spotless, when you were getting along with the God of Abraham that I have taught you now. And with the last prophet that he said, Yahushua is his name, you become someone never sin. That is truth. That God of Abraham never likes sinners. That is the answer of my words. And I wish to get well to Yahushua, to reach to Yahushua, and to arrive in the God of Abraham, Yahavah, to beloved Father Yahavah. Let's come back to the last prophet. The one who was being brought the words, Yahushua is name. And Yahushua said, the Israeli prophet said, it's only the one who preached Yahushua, he's the only one who has the spirit of a prophecy. And no one has preached that except Eliah. Only. That's why Eliah is the last prophet, and there is no one anymore after Eliah. So I wish you to get to the love of the God of Abraham, because the base of that is from him. The base of this truth is from the God of Abraham, and it's in the book of Israelian that we have taken that from. There is no book of Malagasy or the book of English, the book of American, but the book of Israelian that these words went to. That's why we're on this truth. And I call you, let's come to the truth, to the God of Abraham, and follow the last prophet, because it's in him the key of the key that God of Abraham gave. You have to go to him, because no one is after him. The Israeli prophet. And you may say, you are Malagasy, and how can you say that you are also a prophet? I have read the law that Yahushua has received the law from Father Yahavah, the God of Abraham, saying that though the one who preach you, because those who preach you as well preach Father Yahavah, and Yahushua hasn't come there if there is no, if this prophet, so a prophet cannot go if there is no prophet who say to him. And you may be surprised, because I'm going to add you a word. You say also that his son is a prophet. Yeah, let me teach you that in a parenthesis. Say people say that this God didn't give birth. Yeah, lots of teaching gave that. Because you created another book, and it's in the other book that exists. It's a book created, but in an Israeli book that really exists. So let's read the word. Let's read the book of Psalm, because the book of Psalm itself saying, you are my son, said the God of Abraham. He said to me, you are my son. The first Arab Jews say that this God gave birth, but it's not the woman who gives birth. That's what makes people wrong. But he gave birth according to the words. So if he gave birth to Yahushua, he gave birth through the words. So if we are talking about Yahushua, he is the one who has been given birth. And that's why we say he is really he gave birth, according to also another book. Still in the book of Psalms, Psalms chapter 82 verse 6. I said, you are gods, all of you are the sons of the Most High. That means that God gave birth, because they are the sons of the Most High, and their sons are called, you are gods. So that God gave birth then in the book of Jews, in the book of Psalms. So you cannot deny that. You cannot go against that, because it's in the book of Jews then. The God of Abraham said that clearly. But I said that he didn't give birth like a woman, but through words. That's why the prophet said in the first, he's in the... from the first, he was the Word, and the Word was in the relation with the God, and he was a God. So this, according to the Word, then, he's not like a woman giving birth, but through words. So when he's saying something by creating this world, it's that Word which has been given birth. So it's not like woman. Let's read John chapter 1 verse... it's all about the book of Jews, which say that. John chapter 1 verse 1. From the first, he was the Word, and he was the Word, and the Word was in relation with God, and was God. This Word was from the first from God, relation with God. All things came into existence through Him. All without Him, nothing was. So in the book of Jude then, the book of the last prophet, Yahushua, he really said that he was in the first. And the words from God, and words is God. It's all the book of Jude, which say that. We have seen the in the Sefer Torah of Jews saying that God gave birth. And he said, I gave birth to you today. And no one cannot deny that. That existed. And the way to give birth is not like a woman, but it's with that saying, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. And when the words came out then, that is the saying that he gave birth. When the God of Abraham said, it's that word that is called his son, and that son is called Yahushua, and the words become flesh, a body, and his God. We're going to prove that again, but that is already clear, because he got real declaration from Father Yahweh. And in the book of Psalm also, they say that he gave birth. And if you deny that, if you reject that, you reject the words of the God of Abraham, because he is found in the book of Israel, book of Jews. That's why in the beginning we look for what kind of book that we should look for. And we have seen that it's in the book of Israel, and not a book that you create elsewhere, or the book that you just say anywhere without any reason. But it's in the book of Jews, and that is the truth, that this God gave birth, and you cannot deny that. And the last prophet here, that his word is brought by him, is Yahushua. He is really born by him. Not like woman, I emphasize that. But when he said something, when he say words, it's that word that his son. And you cannot deny that, because he's a God, you cannot deny that. And that's what he likes. Like when he creates and he creates. That's why he's a God of Abraham. So the words ends there, and the truth is now clear to you. And all about the Yahushua, the last prophet, is clear, and it is said by the God that he is real son. He is his real son, and he is the word in God from the beginning, and he is the where everything begins, and all the creation come out from him, according to the last Israeli prophet. And once you accept that Yahushua is an Israeli prophet, say the people of Israel, he is the son of God, and you cannot deny that. He is the son of God, according to the Sefer Torah. I am your son, and I have given birth to you today. And that one is no one but the last prophet, called Yahushua, who said, never sin. That means that he and his father has the same character, same personality, never sin. Those who follow him never sin, and they are really washed away from their sins. The word is truth. We were from the book of Jude completely through to the last prophet Yahushua, and that is the proof that he is a son of Yahweh. And I have to correct your thinking that God is giving birth. God doesn't give birth like a woman. That is never. But when he said something, that is to say he gave birth. And that what he said, I gave birth to you. Because in other words, what you should be, are you going to be a parallel with him? No, you are his son. And nothing with that is bad. But I have proved to you with the Sefer Torah of Jews, and those who follow that never sin. And that's why I emphasize that again. What kind of book must be followed if we are looking for the truth with the God of Abraham and to get along with him? And that's I taught you. Follow the Sefer Torah of Jews, the book of Jews. It's in the Sefer Torah of Jews that there is a saying that God is giving birth. And if you were following another book, it is in a contrary. But if you were looking at the book of Jude, he gave birth. So I've given you the word. So that is our meeting for today. Yahushua bless you all. And once you are convinced, come to Elia. Come to be baptized, because it's a time for baptism. You can call on the phone. Call and say, I want to get baptized. Whether you're English, American, or Japanese, or whatever you are, you all can call Elia, and you can say, we are convinced, and I ask you to come here to get us baptized. Yeah, you can come here. It's in 2026 that there is baptism. And if you are convinced, Elia can come there. It's according to what happens. Elia goes when someone calls him. If you really wish to, if you really look for God and want to get the truth. Yahushua bless you all. Let's pray together. Thank you very much, beloved Father Yeva, for all of that words. But that is all about love and salvation. Elia have taught people to so that they come back to you. I have proved them all the truth, and you were the truth. And there is no other God but you. You are the God of Abraham. Yahushua is your name, and you hate sin. You hate sin, and it's that word that you have given that to be brought by Yahushua, the last prophet. And he said, the last prophet said, never sin. Be perfect and never sin. Bless that words, that this will bring goodness for those who hear, and bring salvation and healing for those who hear. You're gonna bless for those who hear. Save those who haven't known the truth. Save this world. Save the other nations, except apart from Malagasy. Save those who wish to be saved. Save those who want to be free. Father Yeva, time is to save this world. Show your powerful arms. Let your power and authority go on for the glory of your power, of your holy name. Glory be to you, Father Yeva. Help Elia with the work that you have assigned him. Glory be to you forever. In your name, Father Yeva, beloved Father Yeva, that is to send that word through your name, through Yahushua. Glory be to you, Father Yeva. Hallelujah. Amen. So that is our meeting for today. I say see you next time. Goodbye.